Hey y'all, hope you're doing well. I have hopefully a quick one for you today. I hope you enjoyed Circe. It's one of my favorite books that I've read probably the past 3 or 4 years. I totally buzzed through it this summer. Really excited for y'all to have read it and to hear from y'all, hear what you think. So, as you finish Circe, I want you to think about how it portrays feminine power, both magical and political, right? Relying on the laws of hospitality that we talked about last week, with that classic concern with Xenia, and what we see in the medieval texts that we've read about eating the fairy food or drinking the fairy wine. That's cliche for a reason. In this book, throughout, Circe uses food and drink, along with her charm and wit and magic, to get what she wants and to protect herself, throughout the text. However, at the end, she's willing to go into battle and do what she thinks is right. First, to fight the Trigon, to make a spear to protect her son, and then to do battle with Celia, so that the people who that monster kills in the future are not on her, Circe's, conscience. And, while, of course, there have historically been women to march into battle, and even to lead whole armies, in different times and cultures to a modern reader, certainly Circe is breaking out of this traditional framework in which a lot of women's political power comes from spheres of hospitality in the home, or from strategic marriages for money, land, political alliance, which was also a huge part of how women were able to exercise power, especially noble women. It's less of a thing if you're a peasant, especially in the Middle Ages, at least. So, another sphere through which women have historically exercised political, cultural, and social power is through stories. There's this cliche that a ton of the time Anonymous is a woman, and I don't know, we obviously, because it's anonymous, don't necessarily have a ton of evidence for that to be true all of the time, but a non-zero amount of the time, yes, we do have evidence that that is likely. And we do have named women writers throughout history. The Arabic tradition is full of them. We read Marie de France, a woman writing in the 12th century, So, and for example, Eleanor of Aquitaine was a 12th century queen of England and France. She was maybe even a patron of Marie de France, it's been suggested. There's some evidence they were working around the same time, but she was a prolific patron of the arts. And it's around this time, coincidentally, that there is this huge boom in literary and artistic connection between the Anglo-Norman English royal family and King Arthur, who in the original narratives is a Welsh and Roman king. Usually he's Welsh, Celtic, Breton, and they kind of naturalize him into this English courtly sphere, and in doing so, it legitimizes that royal family's claim to the throne, because they are, supposedly related, descended from King Arthur, and, they're paying people to write stories that say this, write chronicles. There's evidence that, I wrote a paper about King Arthur's grave supposedly being found, and recorded and reported as being found in stories, at Glastonbury, when one of Eleanor's sons, Edward maybe, is on the throne in England. There's this whole propaganda machine that Arthur's not coming back to save the Celts, the Welsh, because he's dead. We found his tomb. And that kind of strengthens the royal crown, the Anglo-Norman hold on the English crown, right? So, it this patronage works to like, or these stories and these artistic texts, paintings, drawings, all of this works to like authorize and legitimize the rules of Eleanor's husband and then of her sons and their descendants. So, as a patron of the arts, Eleanor was paying for these things to be produced. She was paying the artists and the storytellers. It's likely that she had influence on the works that they produced. Would I call it propaganda? I mean, ish. But it's definitely, and this is something that not just the English did, everybody did this. You'd employ artists and bards and stuff in your court to portray you in the best light. It's a political move, as well as like, maybe she really did legitimately enjoy the arts, but it's also a political move, right? And this is like something that is not exclusively feminine. There are, of course, kings who keep bards and stuff on retainer. The English kings try to associate themselves with Arthur like the whole way through the medieval period, but it's definitely another way in which women can exercise this power. We see this, in Circe over and over. It repeats about the power of storytelling, showing how like people that once heard stories about but never met are familiar and recognizable even before you meet them, as well as like the reality creating nature of storytelling. This comes up a lot with Odysseus' stories. So, I just invite you to think about the power of storytelling and naming, which I wrote about in our close reading example. But the power of storytelling and of naming as it relates to magic, identity, otherness, in Circe, and in the rest of the texts we're reading this semester. That'll be kind of more what we continue to get into. I do want to remind you, you have your first paper, a close reading, due on Monday, October 5th. Everything in my class is due at 11:59 p.m., so right before midnight. I'm not going to be sitting up at 11:59 p.m. to make sure that it is in, so don't panic if it goes in at 12:03. That's fine. And I already have, there's a whole separate Paper 1 tab under week 15 on the Moodle. It's all the way at the bottom, sorry about that. And I've already got the prompt up, I've got a video up of me like fully going through and explaining, and I wrote up an example for y'all. And there's a sign-up sheet for conferences. Please sign up for conferences by Monday night, or email me and let me know that the times that I've put up don't work for you, and that's fine. We can set something else up. But yeah, we'll be doing that the latter part of next week. So just come to those prepared. I look forward to talking to y'all and hearing what you think and have to say. Yeah, this will be fun. All right. Talk to you soon. Take care.